and the City of 1,000 Planets by Christie Golden. Narrated by Saskia Marleveld. Prologue. The stars were not eternal, but they were ancient nearly beyond reckoning. Much had their judgeless gazes witnessed in the system ruled by Sol, especially the activity clustered around the third planet from that star. By that world's calendar, in the year 1975, something momentous occurred above it. From separate places on this planet, known to its inhabitants as Earth, a pair of nations had launched what would later be deemed primitive space vessels. For the first time in Earth's history, two ships would be joined together, and the inhabitants could move freely between them. The momentous handshake in space, both a literal one and a figurative one, occurred between astronaut Brigadier General Thomas Stafford of the Apollo and Alexei Leonov of the Soyuz. There were smiles and joy and a sense of connection, and the two men became, and stayed, steadfast friends through the decades that unfurled. What happened in 1998 at Alpha Space Station in orbit around the blue-green world was not merely two nations meeting. When the European Hermes spaceplane, proposed in that same year as the first historic handshake, arrived to dock at Alpha, it represented a coalition of nations. Space was no longer the province of a few tiny humans, but was rapidly evolving to belong to humanity. The space station grew as time went by. In the year 2019, China's massive Tiangong-3 spaceship was warmly welcomed when it came to take its place at Alpha. The captain of the Alpha space station, one 30-year-old James Crowford, enthusiastically greeted his Chinese counterpart, Wang Hu, who himself could not seem to stop smiling. Later historians would mark this moment as the end of international tension and the beginning of what was the first great age of human cooperation. What many on Earth had said could not happen, did happen. Humanity continued to work for peace and cooperation on Earth, while keeping their eyes and hearts attuned to the siren song of space. They continued to shake hands against the vast panoply of the starfield. The station was fully established, and the distant stars looked on as Earth's united glory and passion fueled Alpha's boom. 8 short years later, the station had grown enormously. Its population had swelled to 8,000. More nations had ventured into the stars and wanted to be part of this symbol of unity. By 2029, every country on this third planet from the sun had at least one scientist on board to represent them. In 2031, an artificial gravity system was installed. The station's denizens could now walk its corridors as easily as they walked on their home planet. Captain Crowford was now a distinguished man of 41 years. He had the honor to welcome captains from India, the United Arab Emirates, Korea, Africa, Australia, Brazil, and Japan, who, instead of the iconic handshake in space, offered and accepted a traditional bow. Still, the stars, distant and silent, observed. The station expanded. Its numbers swelled, not just with military or official representatives, but families. And the stars watched as history, not just for humanity, but for the rest of the galaxy, was made in the year 2150. The International Space Station Alpha was now 2 miles long and home to over 100,000 people. But until this moment, all the construction and designs on the station, all the ships that had come to dock with it, and all those aboard them, had all had a certain comfortable familiarity. The vessel that was now approaching did not. It looked more like a creature of nightmares than a spaceship. Black, chitinous, covered with dozens of sharp, cruel-looking spines. It was lit from within. A dull crimson hue, visible only